Good morning, children. Today's topic is exploring forces. Newton is SI unit of force. SI International System. SI units are accepted all over the world. So Newton is SI unit of force which is accepted all over the world. This unit was adopted in the year 1946 to honor the great English physicist and the mathematician Sir Isaac Newton. So children, collect some information on Sir Isaac Newton. Force is described by its magnitude and by the direction in which it acts. Now what's magnitude? Magnitude is the measure of force or size or strength of force. When you apply force or when you try to push any object from one place to another, you apply certain amount of force. So that amount or the strength of the force is said to be the magnitude. Like if you buy potatoes or tomatoes from the markets, you get 1 kg or 2 kg. So that 1 kg or 2 kg, that is the magnitude. Similarly here, the amount of force that you apply on any object to make it move, that is said to be its magnitude. So if you observe in the picture, the man is trying to push the object and he is applying a force of 100 Newton. So 100 Newton is the magnitude and he is pushing it towards the right direction. Right? So with the force of 100 Newton, he is pushing the object towards the right direction. So children, whenever you describe any force, then it is very important to mention its magnitude as well as its direction. Now when two or more forces act on an object, then what happens? Let's see. If two or more forces act on an object from same direction, then net or the resultant force is sum of all forces. Children, if you observe the picture, in the first part of the picture you can see that two people are trying to push the object. The one with the blue t-shirt, he is applying a force of 200 Newton, while one with the green is applying a force of 100 Newton, and both are applying in the same direction. The one with a higher magnitude, that is 200, is represented by a longer arrow, while the one with the smaller magnitude is shown by a smaller arrow. Now both of them, as they are pushing in the same direction, the net force with which the object will move towards the right will be the sum of both the forces, that is 200 plus 100, that gives 300 Newton. So the object will move towards right with a net or the total or the resultant force of 300 Newton towards the right direction. If two or more forces of different magnitude act on an object from opposite direction, then net or the resultant force is difference of forces. If you observe again the picture, in the first part of the picture, the two people again are trying to push the object, but now they are pushing it from the different direction. The one with the blue t-shirt is pushing towards right, while the one with the green t-shirt is pushing towards left. The magnitude of the blue t-shirt one is 200 Newton. He is applying a force of 200 Newton, while the green one is applying a force of 100 Newton. So the resultant force with which the object is going to move is 200 minus 100, that gives 100 Newton, and the object will move towards right, as the right one, the one who is trying to push towards the right one, has a higher magnitude. Right? Now children, again see the picture. You can see again from both the sides, the two people are trying to push the object, the same object. But this time what is happening? The magnitude is same. The blue t-shirt also is applying a force of 200 Newton and he is pushing it towards the right direction, while the one with the green t-shirt, he is also applying a force of 200 Newton and pushing it towards the left direction. So in both the magnitude is same. Right? but direction is opposite. So we take the difference of the two forces, but now what is the difference going to come? What is the difference? It is 0. It is equal to 0. So in this case, the object is not going to move. Now observe the picture again, children. Tug of war. If you see the first picture, there are two teams. Both of them are pulling the rope. The direction is different. In the first picture, both the teams are pulling with equal amount of force. The magnitude of force is same, right? While if you see in the second one, again the two teams pulling the rope in the opposite direction, but then the magnitude of both the teams are different. The team towards the right has a magnitude of 300 Newton, while the team towards the left has a magnitude of 400 Newton. I guess children, you can make it out in both the cases which team is going to win. So children, in the first picture, both the teams are applying force of equal magnitude but in opposite direction. So the net force is the difference of both the forces, that is 300 minus 300, that gives 0. Now in this case, no change will take place, right? We say balanced forces are there. Both the side, the magnitude is same in the opposite direction. So there will be no movement, no change will take place. While in the second one, you can see one team applies more force than the other. So the net force or the resultant force, which is again the difference of both the forces, 400 minus 300, that gives 100 Newton. So 100 Newton towards left. So the right side of the team will move towards left, and we say unbalanced forces are there on both the side, and wherever there are unbalanced forces, there will be the change, right? Few more examples. You can see it in the picture. The block diagrams are given out here. In the first one, you can see both the side equal magnitude, different direction. So the difference of the forces, so net force will be 0 and the object is not going to move. In the second one, if you see, there are two forces acting on the block. Two forces both of same magnitude, 10 Newton, 10 Newton, but in same direction. So if they are in the same direction, we take the sum of the forces. So on that block, the combined effect of the force will be there, that is 20 Newton, and the block is going to move towards the right direction. Then third one, if you see, one side it's 10 Newton, the other side it's 8 Newton, opposite direction. So the net force or the resultant force is going to be the difference of the two forces, 10 minus 8, that gives 2, and the block is going to move towards left, because towards the left the magnitude of force was more, right? Let's revise. Force is described with its magnitude. So what's magnitude? The strength, the amount, and of course along with that direction. The SI unit of force is Newton. SI unit, when we say, unit which is accepted all over the world. So the SI unit of force is Newton. If two or more forces act on an object in same direction, then the net or the total force or the resultant force is sum of all the forces. If two or more force act on an object from opposite direction, then net force is difference of the two forces. If force act from opposite direction and their magnitude is same, then body is not going to move. We say balanced forces. But if magnitude are different, then the body will move and they have unbalanced forces.